Hi, this is Laura Zam, and this is Sexual Healing Central. Today, my guest is Jonathan Troen, who is a life mastery coach and leader of the self-love revolution. Jonathan is going to give us 3 tips that help us transform self-sabotage to self-love. So excited. Stay tuned. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to Sexual Healing Central. Very excited to have you here.
So happy to be with you. Thank you so much.
I always have my guests just introduce themselves to start. Could you do that?
Yeah, I'm Jonathan Troen. And I learned from my journey, which started off way self-sabotage is now, to be clear, there's more to go. Self-love is a skill and a practice. It gets better over time. But I'm more on this side of the scale. And once I learned how to do it, this transition of a life of self-sabotage, that voice in our head, which most people understand, we beat ourselves up, to one of just being kind to yourself. And what that does is it allows us to really begin to enjoy our life, our business, and our bank account at the same time, because most people are picking one over the other. Okay, I'm just going to focus on my business, and then everything else falls apart. Or they think, well, if I enjoy my life, then my business is going to fall apart, my bank account will fall apart. And self-love is a different way to live. And self-love includes all of these elements. You can go from being your own worst enemy, if you're an entrepreneur, your own worst boss, because we entrepreneurs are horrible bosses of ourselves. We would quit. If anyone would boss us around like we boss ourselves around, would speak to us, I would speak to ourselves, we'd quit. So this is a way of living life differently, becoming your own best friend and your own best boss, so that your life, business, and bank account can flourish together.
Amazing. So you mentioned that you did this transformation yourself. What made you get into this work?
Yeah, well, look, I was living in LA, really Santa Monica, which is right next to LA. I was living 3 blocks from the beach. I was in the entertainment business. I was interviewing the biggest stars in the world, living the life of my dreams. And, I could see the sunset out my window. Everyone teaches, create the life you want. I created the life I wanted, and I was miserable.
Oh,
And
man.
what the hell's wrong with this? I did just what I was told. But what they didn't teach me was about the voices in my head, that it didn't matter how successful I was. I would also say, well, when I achieve that, then I can be happy. Then I've succeeded. And I would achieve it. Okay, well, then I'd feel kind of, I'd be excited for, a day, week, month, whatever. And then you begin to feel the same. And then those voices are back up. Well, you're not successful enough. Look, you're on 3rd Street. Look at the guy on 2nd Street. Look at the guy on, sorry, I just banged something. Look at the guy on Ocean, right? So I'd be in this nonstop comparison place. So it didn't matter how successful I was. Then I'd reach a new goal. I'd be happy for, a week, a few days, and then I'd start beating myself up again. Didn't matter how successful I was. The voice in my head always said, you have to do more. If you're going to be really successful, you have to do more. And of course, I lived in Hollywood. So, you see all these successful people. Well, what I came to learn was that I wasn't the only one having this problem with the voices in my head. And it didn't matter how many millions of dollars were in someone's bank, it didn't necessarily make them happy. Now we had to begin to redefine what it means to be successful. Is successful only the number of dollars in the bank, or is successful enjoyment of life? Is successful impacting in a positive way other people? Mm-hmm. So I had to go through this whole redefining what success meant to me, relearning what my values were, because my values were lost along the way as I began to live other people's values, really. This was important to them. So I made it work for them because I wanted to be liked by them. Right. So that was my journey. So I created this life. It was everything I wanted, and I wasn't happy. So then I had to go and figure out what was wrong with me. Like, why am I not happy? And that that led me to the biggest conclusion of my life, which was that there was nothing wrong with me. Mind blown. I
Mind
had no
blown.
idea there was nothing wrong with me.
Amazing. I'm going to have you go right into the tips now because I know
Yeah.
that so many people identify with this constant struggle and striving to be better and better and more whatever. Anyway, you've got 3 tips for us how we can go from being our own worst enemy, right? From this self-sabotage to being our own best friend. Go.
First one, gratitude. And I get, folks, it sounds cliche. So I'm going to dig into it just a little bit. Here's the thing
Great.
about gratitude. We have about 70,000 thoughts a day. 95% of them, same thoughts you had yesterday. 80% of them, negative. Right. So I would get home from an amazing day, interviewing, I don't know, Cher or The Who or Green Day or someone. And I beat the crap out of myself, finding the things that went wrong instead of just being grateful for all the things that were there. Right. I discovered nothing was wrong with me, but I hadn't been paying attention to all the things that were right. Gratitude. We have to flip the equation so that it's 80% positive thoughts. You still need some negative thoughts. They keep you growing, learning, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying don't have negative thoughts. We all have negative thoughts. But you have to switch the equation so that it's 80% positive thoughts to 20% negative thoughts. The other piece of gratitude, right? We've gone through a year of the pandemic where it says follow the science, okay? So let's follow the science. Gratitude releases dopamine into your body. Gratitude releases serotonin into your body. Now, you know what else releases dopamine? Facebook, Gmail. Every time you hit the scroll on your phone, it's a shot of dopamine. Every time you check your email, shot of dopamine. So you can either keep doing it that way and comparing yourself to every other person on Facebook, Instagram, etc., or you can create some of your own. And you can do it through gratitude. Be your own chemical creating machine.
Wow.
All right. Number 2, biggest change ever in my life, most powerful thing, forgiveness. Forgiveness is the most important skill that we are never taught. They teach you on the playground, say you're sorry. That has nothing to do with forgiveness. Forgiveness is accepting that the past cannot be different. It's giving up hope that the past will be different. Because we live so much of our lives replaying the past and say, if that moment 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, some people, we relive that moment in our head and go, well, if that moment would have been different, if that person had done something different, if I had done something different, if my spouse had done something different, or ex-spouse, or whatever it is, if that was different, my whole life would be different. Now, look, it might be true. It's true. Everything, what you do right now changes your future. But what playing these stories, it does to you, one, it takes up so much of your time. So much of your time is spent just reliving the past. And you can't change it. Imagining the past different does not make it different. So forgiveness is creating peace with the fact that the past was what it was. Not that it was okay. Some things weren't. But it's not going to be different. And you free yourself from the chains of the past so that from this moment on, you can create your future. Otherwise, you'll be stuck forever. And if we have time later, I can give you my whole forgiveness routine, but I know we got some stuff to get to, so I want to give you number 3. If you want to dig deeper, you ask me.
We're gonna dig deeper on the longer episode because
okay.
It's really resonates so much with me. I've been litigating something from that goes back to practically my birth and just kind of going round and round. We'll talk about on Fireside.
And we do that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
all right. Tip number 3. You got to start talking kindly to yourself. We have a great success and we celebrate it for about 10 minutes.
If that.
If that. Yeah, sometimes we won't even celebrate it at all. We just go, oh, next, what's next?
Right,
But
right.
we make a mistake. Oh my goodness, we beat ourselves up days and weeks. It just replays in our head. That does go with the forgiveness part as well. But it's about treating ourselves as we would a friend. If a friend would knock on our door and we'd open it and they'd say, oh my God, I did this thing and it was terrible. And most things aren't really as terrible as you think, but let's assume it really is. What would you say to them? Would you beat themselves up? Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Would you say, come on in, sit down on the couch. I'm going to make some tea. I'm going to get this going. And you know what, dear friend, I got your back. No matter what happens, I'm here for you. I got your back. But we don't say that to ourselves. We beat ourselves up. Or when we look in the mirror and we look at our faces or our bodies, the first thing we do, and I did that, this is how I lived most of my life. We beat ourselves up. Oh, look at the new wrinkles. Look at the complexion or the blemish. I got one here. See my blemish there. The gray hairs, or maybe we don't like our weight. And then we wonder why we're in a fight with our body nonstop. You ought to lose weight. You know what the quickest way to lose weight is? And I have to, with this one, honestly, it's kind of third party because I've never had true big weight problems. I've gone up and down. But this is from people who have lost hundreds of pounds, went to all the camps and this and that. You talk kindly to yourself, you stop fighting with your body. And when you stop fighting with your body, you release the stress and your body starts releasing the weight. You also start eating better. But whatever it is, whether it's the body weight, whether it's the wrinkles, whether it's that your neck hurts, we wake up in the morning. If we have a sore neck, what do? Oh, my damn neck, my neck hurts. But when it doesn't, we just wake up. We don't go, oh, thank you, neck, for being able to turn left, right. Wow, how amazing. We beat our bodies up and we expect the world of them. Thank yourself. Every day, thank yourself. Say one kind thing to yourself every day. I would really say at least two. One about your body, thanking it. Maybe you like your eyes. You don't like everything. Maybe you like your eyes or your smile. At least start there. Thank that. I love every part of me now. Didn't always, but now everything. Thank your knee. You walk up the stairs and your knee hurts. Go, thank you, knee, for carrying me up these stairs. Just one more day. And find one thing to celebrate that you did, even if it's just watering the plants. That's a celebration. And when we begin to celebrate the minuscule stuff like watering the plants and aren't waiting for the big client or the big thing or the whatever it is, that's when life really turns around. Gratitude, forgiveness, and treating yourself the same way you would treat any dear friend. Your life will be forever different.
Awesome. My life is already different because of just having your energy and these tips. They're just fabulous. They're simple, but the way you get in there, like you said, and kind of dig in, it's like, wait a minute, I've heard this, but I haven't heard it. I haven't implemented it in this way. I really, really appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I am just so excited to have you here. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for sharing these tips. And we will have a longer conversation, interactive conversation. I can't wait to dig in more into all of this. But for those who are just watching this video, I hope you can implement these 3 tips. Yay!
Yes, and it doesn't take long. You can do it all in 2 minutes while you're brushing your teeth. You can do all of this. That's when I do it. Don't tell anyone because they think I have these half-hour things. No, 2 minutes, brush your teeth. You do all this at the same time when you're looking in the mirror. It's perfect.
Awesome. Great, great, great advice. Okay, well, thank you so much for being on Sexual Healing Central.
Thank you.